Call this meeting to order, pledge the flag. Now, we're gonna do, Robert, you do it tonight. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Welcome, this is gonna be the organizational meeting and regular meeting of the town board. The first item of business would be if we want to adopt the organizational resolutions. There's 27 resolutions. You've all had a chance to read them. If anybody doesn't want any, if you want any pulled out for voice votes, just let us know. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the first 27 resolutions. Motion by Robert.
I'll second.
Second by Jock to approve resolutions 2 through 27. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. Very good. And that concludes the organizational part of our meeting. Now we'll go into the regular meeting on January 8th. The first item of business will approve the minutes of the town board meeting held on December 3rd. Somebody want to make a motion to approve those minutes?
Almost got it.
Motion by John. Second by Jock to approve the minutes of the December 30th special board meeting. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, we'll go right in report of officers.
December 2024, monthly report, we have marriage licenses of $52.50, clerk fees of $19, certified copies, $30, landfill and hunt cards, $19,471, short-term rentals, $600, dog licensing, $76, building permits, $42.75. Septic permits, $35, bringing the total local shares remitted of $20,326.25.
Supervisor's report for the month of December. Total monies on hand at the end of December were $2,524,776.45. All the ending balances in all the accounts, general, cemetery, highway, sewer were fine. The only one that, and even lighting district had a balance this year. The only one that was a little bit shy was the water district, but I kind of surmised we weren't going to hit that one. But we're doing pretty well with our balance at the end of the year. More money than I had planned on, which is a good thing. Assessors report.
Assessors report for January. Work continues on the 2025 rolls, the 2025 assessment sales cycle. There were 61 sales in Warrensburg. Of these, 31 were residential properties, 8 were commercial properties, and 22 were land parcels. Note the above sales reflect the assessment cycle as cited above, not January, December calendar year sales. Sales do not include non-arm's length transfers such as foreclosures, sales between family members, tax, distress sales, etc. During the upcoming months, we will be working closely with the Office of Real Properties, Tax Services, and analyzing these sales in order to arrive at 2025 level of assessment and 2025 equalization rate. Senior citizens exemption renewals are scheduled to be mailed during the third week of January. This time frame can coincide with the arrival of Social Security, retirement, bank, and income statements needed to qualify for these property exemptions. In addition, postcards notifying residential property owners who are either 65 or turning 65 this year may qualify for senior exemption are being prepared for printing and mailing. Other annual renewals such as nonprofits, religious, forestry, agricultural exemptions were sent out November to December, many of which have already been received. I'd like to take this opportunity to wish everyone a happy, healthy, and prosperous New Year, respectfully, clean water.
Okay, Robert, Justice.
This is prepared by Leanna Molly for December 24. There was Judge Fisk, there was 58 cases, $3,350 in fine, $320 in fee, $1,137 surcharge. Judge Perillo, she had 53 cases, $3,675 in fine, 0 fee, $1,652 in surcharge. Total new cases for November was 89. Total received November, 10,134. Town share, 4,845.
We didn't get a completed landfill report. They hadn't finished telling us, but I can tell you, we are in the black at the landfill. Landfill finished pretty decent. And then, I expect to see a 30 to 40% savings in 2025 because Warren County starts hauling, started hauling as of January 1st. So we're gonna see hopefully a major savings at the landfill, and we can make some more improvements up there. Planning, Brian?
Planning. There were 2 septic and 2 land use and development permits issued the month of December. The planning board has 1 application on their agenda for this month. The applicant is Ski Hickory, and is to allow the establishment of 4 RV/tent camping sites. The zoning board does not have a meeting this month due to lack of application.
Yeah, I think they had that last night. I think it was approved.
Yeah, it was.
The code enforcement report for the month of December, he issued 1 new short-term rental permit, called the health officer about complaints on 131 River Street, sent a letter to Free Methodist Church regarding the installation of their new outside lighting, was encroaching on neighbors' property. The situation, they just didn't understand that. And they changed the angle of the lights, and I think that's been resolved or replaced the bulbs, the fixtures they had. Fire company is notified of burning permits, investigated a complaint of unregistered vehicles at 278 Schooner River Road. And that property is going to be cleaned up, give them, I think, a couple of weeks to clean up that property, but that property is going to be taken care of. Received a FOIL request from the town clerk on property in Thurman, and it wasn't our property, so there's no need to have a FOIL request. I think it has a Warrensburg mailing address, but it was actually on Huber Road or one of those roads in Thurman. He did the violation tickets for the winter parking ban. I haven't really heard anything, no complaints on that. He visited 2 Terrace Avenue for the property in front of the garage, which has been cleaned up. He checked on Commercial Avenue property, which was in court. The owner has asked the court for adjournment till January 15th to correct the situation. That means he probably will be in court next week. Checked a car, Riverside Gallery parking lot. It has no plates and it's not registered. They chased the owner down. That car apparently blew a motor, and that's where they left it. So they're going to tow it. It'll be moved. If the owner doesn't tow it this week, then the county will tow it. It's in the county right away. Then we had a second notice to a short-term rental owner. I wasn't aware of this, and who failed to renew their permits December. And I don't know if this is correct or not because Jim wasn't here today. But he's pretty vigilant about that. So, and then, of course, you all read that the governor passed the short-term rental law, and basically, we already meet the criteria of most of the law. What it will do is probably could gain up to $1 million in sales tax money for the county. So, and then that's good because you know how it's distributed. We will get a little piece of that sales tax. So that's great. So that's what I know about what Jim had to do. Other committee reports will post. It will be the beautification committee, and most of theirs was focused around Christmas in Warrensburg, which was very successful. We have the Historian Museum report, and they had a good visitation during Christmas in Warrensburg. Parks and Rec, they've been keeping up with cleaning up after the snowstorms. They also been maintaining Christmas lights and winter maintenance. And then, as you know, the Chamber of Commerce is moving in the basement, so beautification has moved out all their supplies down here, and then beautification will come in, and Jackie will have to work on a little lease agreement for them. And so they're down there rehabbing the offices and painting it up, so that'd be good. And then what we got here, this is the sewer. They're working on a lot of maintenance down there. They do some inside work. They're working on the compressors. We did have a rainstorm in December, which raised the level of flow into the lagoons. And when you do that, sometimes it does affect your speedies permit. You get a little bit too much water in there. And so we had a hiccup, which we did report. It's not a investigative report, but the flows were higher after the heavy rains on December 12th. And then they repaired a chain on one of the air tubes to the diffusers. And Cedarwood's about to put out the purchase order for the curtains between lagoons. Once we get that in, we're in good shape down there with lagoons. Water, they had some basement floodings, frozen pipes. If you remember, a few years ago, we bought that machine to unthaw pipes, so we've never had to use it. And we had a real siege of frozen pipes probably 4 or 5 years ago, and we bought a decent machine that you can hook up without, it's not like hooking a welder to the pipes. And we really haven't used it much, but that's good, we have it. They had a couple of curb shutoffs that broke, they repaired those. And then they're doing some maintenance on the wells, and we're getting ready to replace one of the old well houses up there. We're working with Cedarwood. It's something that I think we buy the shell, and then we could put the shell up, but then when we get ready to transfer all the equipment over, we'll have to get a company to come in and work on transferring. It's one of the older, it's the oldest well house. It's right this side across from the fairgrounds. But so they keep busy in the wintertime. I had a lot of compliments on the Christmas lights. We're gonna do a little expansion in 2025. We got some ideas where to make some more improvement, maybe wrap another bridge, because they seem to be popular wrapping the bridges. So, we're gonna make a few more changes, Bruce Park up there, and if we have time, we'll look at putting some more Christmas lights up. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, the Marine Corps Lakes. They gave us a Distinguished Service Award, and that was handed out to the employees in the town hall for putting out a Toys for Tots box. And that box was filled up either once or twice before Christmas, so we appreciate that from the Marine Corps. It took the bid specifications down to the county, and Warren County advertises for equipment all the time, trucks and the such. And I went down and talked with the purchasing agent, and we've been wanting to purchase one F-150 for the Recreation Department, one F-250 for the parks, or for sewer and water with a plow, and one F-250 for the Highway Department with a plow package. And so I took them down to the purchasing department in Warren County, and they're gonna do a mini bid. So we're gonna get those trucks ordered on, it's like a state contract, but it's Warren County contract. Also, talked with the Highway Department, and they would like a new 550, and they wanna get a Dodge diesel. They feel it would be better for them for when they tow around their equipment. So we've got specs out for a Dodge. We'll see what they come into. And the county's been buying Dodges. But we went back and forth between Ford and a Dodge, so we'll see what happens. So they're just somebody to approve the putting out the
So,
bids. John, Brian, any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Here, anybody opposed? That should bring us up to speed on the equipment. We're working on the payloader at the Highway Department. We'll work with the two dealers. We have a Cat and a John Deere dealer to do a new lease agreement on a payloader. And then we are in line, well, the single axle should be delivered anytime, and then we are in line for another tandem. So talk to Tracy Rhodes, and so we'll be in line when they get the okay to buy the tandems on that Onondaga bid they went off of. So, and was something that we actually did it over a year ago here. So we're doing pretty well up there. And then I'm gonna call the sidewalk plow company to come down and look at this sidewalk plow, and maybe time to see if we can get some money off this one we have for trade and get another sidewalk plow. That gets a lot of use. And the bottom of it's pretty rough right now, so we'll get them down here. Now, and this next one is just to clean up. We paid the oxy tax through the beautification committee, and I thought we had it on the warrant, but we didn't have it we didn't have the resolution last month or on December 30. So I need somebody to just clean it up and pass this resolution. So somebody want to make a motion, 3,500?
I'll make that motion.
Brian, John, any discussion on that? It's for Christmas and winter. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Okay. Okay, now the next one is a resolution request concerning the Dormitory Authority, State of New York grant for the pole barn construction. Now, this is a pole barn, Matt Simpson, Assemblyman Simpson came to me in the fall and said he can get us a stipend for $150,000. Is there something we need? At the time, I was dealing with the highway department, and they're concerned about the plows being outside when they're not used. So I said, yeah, we'll do a pole barn. We'll see about a pole barn. And we went up and we got a hold of Cedarwood. We scoped out a site up there just across from the highway garage where we could put a elongated pole barn up where we could store the highway equipment, at least get the plows out. So there's a lot to this when you get they call them SAM grants, they call them different grants. They're stipends from the state of New York. There's like 5 or 6 things we needed to do. They have to be in by Friday. I didn't realize that. I worked with John. We've got 4 out of the 5 items are already to go. The last thing we need to do is Jackie is reviewing the deed to that property. It's the old landfill property up there. It goes way back to 1930, I think, or something.
1930.
Yeah, so we may or may not get that sorted through. That's the last document we have to sign. And if we don't get it ready by Friday, I will request a week extension to get this paperwork in. So a lot of that stuff is there, but the one thing we need to do tonight is pass this resolution to be able to move forward with this grant. We've already okayed it once. If you remember right, we okayed it and we had the picture where they did, and APA has begged off of this one.
And this is one of the ones you did for secret review on back in
Yeah,
August.
secret.
But the resolution before you is authorizing Kevin and John, or another town board member, if John's not around, but he is, to sign certifications regarding promises you're making or stating that you understand restrictions on the way you can spend the money and certain other things.
Right.
So this is authorizing the signature of those certifications and also us to, as council, to sign the certification regarding the ownership of the site.
That's correct.
And the availability of the site.
So that's why we need this resolution. Is there any questions about this? The state does inundate you with paperwork when you get one of these grants, but it's a good thing for us. And by the looks of our, if we needed to, the project should come out around $343,000 total. And that's with a cement concrete floor, which I think we should put in there. We have 2 choices when we get to that. We'll do public financing, which would be a ban, or we may be able to take money from the fund balance now that we have a robust fund balance. I don't want to spend it down, all of it. But, so we'll look at that when the time comes to start paying the bills. And we'll contract this out. Cedarwood's going to take care of that. So if somebody want to make some, or I guess, Pam, we'll do a voice vote on this one. So
Okay.
we'll need somebody to make the motion.
I'll make one.
John and Robert, introduce the motion.
I'll say it.
Anybody opposed to the motion? Okay, we'll do a voice vote.
Roll call. Okay. Councilperson Alexander,
Yes.
Councilperson Ross,
Yes.
Supervisor Gary,
Yes.
Councilperson Sutton.
Yes.
Councilperson Quintet.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're okay. Is there any other questions about this? Okay, we'll go ahead with that. Okay. The other day, I was approached by a young man who's was looking at the Swan Street property up there, 35 Swan Street. That's where we used to have a well. And there's about 6.98 acres of land in there. It's, we don't use the property anymore. We haven't used the property for, the well was always, any of the water we got from that well was always really discolored and had an odor to it. So when we had the hydrologist come in and look at the property, he looked around at different places, looked at that side of town, he looked south, he looked north, and we got $50,000 to explore putting a well in. So this property, I don't believe we'll ever use. It's a nice piece of property, it's secluded, it's on the river. As I told him, what we will have to do with this one, we'll have to do the same thing we're doing with the property on Alden Avenue. We gotta get it appraised first, and then if we want to go further, Jackie will guide us in the procedure. So my question to you is, when the appraiser comes in, do you want him to go down and look at this piece of property also? It's water district property, the money would go into the water district, which desperately needs it.
Conceivably go as far as even a higher bidder, or we could advertise it out, or just this fellow here tonight?
Oh, no, we
Appraising.
gotta advertise it out, and he'll have to come close, and we'll put it out for other, anybody somebody else wants to bid on it, that's the way you gotta do it.
Doesn't hurt to get it appraised.
No, we're gonna get it appraised for this, so that's the first thing. And the other thing is, I did have somebody inquire me about some of the stone at the highway garage. Sooner or later, we'll have to make up our minds what we wanna do with that stone over there. I believe, Jackie, we're gonna have to put that up for bid, that stone, right?
Yeah, it's just surplus that you don't need anymore.
Yeah, so, but I've had one person inquire about it already.
Everybody wants a little memorial or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
All right, well, we'll figure it out to do. All right, so Swan Street, we'll move ahead. When the appraiser is here to do the other appraiser, we'll have him go down and do that acreage. I put in your packet tonight, information on FERC project. This is down at the dam at Borlax. Now, it's time to renew the license on the dam, and Borlax is putting in an application to renew the license. We have in your packet, there was a letter from Robert Borkino. He's the fisheries manager here in Warrensburg. And there's a raceway that sticks out, you know what I'm talking about, the raceway that sticks out from the dam towards the 418 side. And he thinks that if it doesn't impact the dam part, which I don't think it does, he thinks that we should request Borlax remove that now before they reissue them the FERC license to continue to operate. They want to continue to operate that hydroelectric plant there. So I put this in your packet. Basically, what Robert is saying is we support them removing it. And we can send out letters. There's a list of people to send the letters to or emails to, but it's entirely up to the town board. Now, I was fortunate to take a tour of that plant this year in the fall, and it's a nice little plant. They keep it well kept, and so I don't know how you folks feel about it.
Yeah, that structure down there definitely is a place where, I mean, it's not barricaded, the kids could climb on it. I mean, it definitely needs to come down. It's a
Okay, that's
safety
fine.
hazard.
That's what I need to know. I
It's
mean,
definitely a safety hazard.
so you want us to put together a letter to send out?
Yep.
Is everybody okay with that? All right. We'll put together a letter, and I'll run it by you some wording, and then we'll email it out next week to these people. Okay, thank you. So I don't know much about the dams, but
Where do they have that pilot program? They had a pilot program that done there years ago. They got a program on tax abatement or something. Where did that happen?
No, that's way over, yeah. I would like to talk to them though about getting some of that hydropower into Warrensburg.
Yeah.
So, you know, I still would like to get those other solar panels so we can own them, you know? I mean, it's been quite a while we're working on it. Every time we send the former installer a letter, he always balks or wants.
And it'd be
80
nice,
times.
nice if they worked over there at the sewer plant. They're just.
Well, the one at the sewer plant, I'm gonna talk to another solar person tomorrow about it, a local guy that knows something about it. But the one down there behind the, you know, the water plant and the recreation field is still making power.
Yeah, that's so.
Yeah,
Oh,
still making power. So it's one of those things, I don't know what
So
to,
what's going on with, where's the power going? Who's it? Nowhere?
Goes into the grid.
it goes in the grid, but
We have a credit on our account. It's in kilowatt thing. It's just rolling
it's a
over.
reverse meter,
Yeah.
you know, every time. Yeah, so it's been making all these. It's a long story.
As long as- It sure is.
We've been working on it now, but it's past 10 years. I think after the contract's reached 10 years, we can go back and try to talk with the installer. He's been non-existent since he put him in 2012. And I think he got a lot of money from the feds to install them.
Somebody has to be responsible somewhere.
Yeah, well, I can show you what we have on that, so. We're trying, we keep trying. All right. Look at that. Okay. The budget modifications, these really go back to 12/31. And most of these were personal service shortages, and what it was is we had some overtime and we ended up short overtime, so we were all inter-department charges, most of them. And a couple of people that I didn't know weren't taking health insurance. And we give a stipend of $1,500 to any employee who doesn't take the town's health insurance. Well, I didn't realize two of the new employees weren't taking health insurance. I found out today. So we owe them a little bit of money for last year for them not taking the health insurance. And then what we're gonna do is we'll adjust the 2025 payroll to show the $1,500 in that. But most of these were personnel shortages, as you see. And they happen to hit every one, sewer, highway, general, and Doris found them and she made them a correction. So motion to approve these modifications. Motion by Robert, second. Second by John, to approve the budget modification. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. The total warrant one tonight is $106,340.55. The bulk of that was the paying a contractor for the Community Development Block Grant Program. They had, there's 58,000 of that 106,000 is paying a contractor for the Community Development Block Grant Program. And that program is going very well. And then, as I said, we had around 35,000 left over in the Main Street, and we found another Main Street property will use the money, which is, they're eligible to use the money, so Flatley has reached out to them, and Flatley reached out to the state, and they said, good, we'll do it there. What I'd like to do is, once we complete these Main Street, is go after more money, because that seems to be, I think the businesses are pretty happy. Few businesses didn't want to follow the regulations, but most of them did. Okay, so motion to pay one. Did I already say that?
No.
I get like Joe
I'll
Biden.
make it.
Motion by Brian, we have a second. By Robert. To pay the warrant number one, $106,340.55. Sorry to all my Democrat friends. All those favors signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right, we do need executive session, and our attorney is going to tell us why we're going to do it.
to discuss litigation
Potential litigation
and ongoing litigation.
and ongoing litigation. So I need a motion to go into executive session at exactly 7:30,
7:31.
7:31 by
All right.
Ryan. Do we have a second?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay, second by Robert. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We'll go into executive session and as soon as we're finished, we'll open it back up and see if we take any action.
Thank you for coming.
Pam, it's your call. You want to wait?
Feeling lonely.
You don't have to leave on the wrong one.
I heard something.
Are you done?